Let's go. We're here. We're live. And we're going to be talking today about Monday Mortgage Mayhem. Monday Mortgage Mayhem. And today we're talking about why loans are sold. We had this come up from a previous buyer that we worked with, and he was a bit frustrated as to why his loan was sold. So we're going to get into that today. So Mike is going to start
Yes, we
talking.
are.
Mike's gonna start talking about it because
Just start,
Mike is the
just
mortgage
start
guy.
talking.
Yeah,
Just start talking.
right. So Mike,
Yeah.
why do they get sold?
I don't know. End of video.
Yep. All
Um,
done.
and what we mean by loan gets sold, a lot of people, if you have a mortgage through a certain lender and all of a sudden you get that letter in the mail that says, oh, by the way, your loan is now going to be serviced by, and you have up to 60 days to change where you send your payments to. Has anybody ever gotten a letter like that?
Yep.
Have you gotten a letter like that, Sheila?
Yep. Yep. We have
I've gotten a letter
several.
like that. I think everybody has at
Yeah.
some point. Every now and then, you'll have a lender that holds on to that loan and services it and earns and makes the interest and all that. But for the most part, I don't know what an actual percentage. I could have looked one up before the call here today, but I would say 90% of loans probably get sold and moved to another servicer. And for the most part, the one concern people always have is their loan going to change?
Right.
And the first answer to that is absolutely not. The only thing that changes your mortgage payment is the taxes and insurance. If your taxes go up or your insurance rates increase, then your overall mortgage payment will change and go up. Hence, if you shop around and get lower insurance and submit it to your lender, you can get your payment to go down. But your principal and interest on your loan amount itself is locked unless you're in a variable rate, which is a whole nother topic and a whole nother video. But if you're in a normal, like a conventional FA, any kind of loan that is a locked rate, that will not change no matter who services your loan for the life of that loan until you either refinance out of it or fully pay it off and you're out of that loan.
Now,
So
can it be sold more than once? Because I think ours has been sold multiple times.
it can be, but most people don't hold on to that loan long enough for it to get sold multiple times. And in the graph we're going to talk about, we'll show you why certain lenders will hold it for a certain period of time because they need to get their investment back. They want to be ultimately become profitable for servicing that loan because they have to pay to buy that loan from the existing lender. So there's an upfront expense for them, and now they want to get their money back. But we'll cover that in one of the images here.
All right. So we brought up the mortgage cycle, and you wanted to talk about this in relation to the loan being sold. So,
Yeah, this is really a great visual, and this is not my image. This is from CMA, the Certified Mortgage Advisors, through Barry Habib, who runs a site called Mortgage Backed Securities, MBS Highway. And this is a great visual from them that really makes it fairly easy to understand. So I just kind of wanted to walk through this and explain what happens. So I don't know if you have a pointer, but we're basically going to start at the top there. And the numbers on here these are all at a point in time. These are just theoretical numbers, 3.5% mortgage rate, theoretical, and the numbers of what they pay for these loans. These are all just examples and they're approximates. So don't get caught up on the numbers whatsoever. But if we start at the top there, you have your mortgage, you have your borrower that goes to an originator, whether they go directly to a bank. If you do, you're going to work with their loan officer, or an LO actually stands for loan originator. If you go to a direct bank, you're going to work with their LO, or if you go to somebody like myself, a mortgage broker, you're going to work with me as your loan originator or whoever you work with. You're going to apply for that loan and you're going to get that loan through that originator. And that originator, if they're from a direct bank, like if you went to Chase Bank, your loan will be with Chase Bank. If you went to a broker, we're going to shop around and we're going to find the best lender for you. And then that loan will go to that lender. So basically that takes us to the second step there, the originator. We put the loan through the mortgage company and they're the ones who fund the loan. Now, loan officers, we all get a commission. We get something for what we do. All loan officers, whether you work for a direct lender or you're a broker, we get a little piece, a point or two normally of the loan amount as compensation. And this is why most lenders want you as a borrower to hold on to that loan, or that hold the paper, they call it, for at least 6 payments, which is about 7 months, because the lender has expenses that they're paying out right off the bat. They're paying the loan officer for doing the loan. They're paying expenses to process the loan. Obviously, the borrower is covering some of those expenses, but bottom line is there's expenses up front. So they want you to hold that paper for at least 7 months. If you don't, in most scenarios, a loan officer will get charged in what we call an EPO, or an early payoff. And that means the lender takes back their compensation from the loan officer, because the paper wasn't held long enough for them to at least get their upfront investments back till they start becoming profitable, making interest on that loan. So you want to hold on to that paper for a little while. But the loan is always going to be a moving item. So as that lender holds on to that loan, they're going to hold it for a certain period of time, and then they're going to look to sell that to another mortgage company or a servicer. A big one out there is Mr. Cooper.
Yep.
Mr. Cooper's a big loan servicer.
Yes.
I think they actually originate loans too, but I think their business model is more in the servicing end than it is in the lending end, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But everybody's heard of Mr. Cooper because typically their loans seem to end up there. They are a loan servicing company. And what they do is, the mortgage companies, you see the bottom bullet there at the very bottom, the servicer will pay roughly 1 point to the lender to buy that loan. Now, it might be hit or miss on the point, but roughly a point. So on a $300,000 loan, what's 1 point? It's about $3,000. And, there's loans of all sizes. They buy lots of loans, bundles of loans, and they want to service them. And they're going to earn roughly about 30 basis points is the same as saying just less than a third of a point. So they're going to earn about 30 basis points annually on that loan. So if you easy math, it's going to take them about a little over 3 years to break even on their investment of buying that loan from that lender. That initial lender originated the loan, held the loan, made some interest profit. Now they get 1% on top, and they sell that loan off. That refunds them money so they can continue to loan out more money. So other people can buy a home just like you were able to. It frees up that money. And now that servicer holds that loan, and they're making roughly about 30 basis points a year. So now they're servicing that. And the timeline of how long they will service it is, some will service it for a very long time. Most people only hold their loans for, on average, 3 to 5 years before they do something with it. They might refinance or they sell the home. People aren't holding on to mortgages for, in most cases, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Most cases, they're either refinancing that loan, or they're getting out of that loan and moving on to another house. So that servicer holds that loan. But ultimately, what happens is they will then move that loan off to Fannie and Freddie, who create these pools of mortgages. They package all these mortgages together, and they take on that, which helps free up more money into the lending field so they can lend to more people. And they bundle all that together, and you can see up there in the upper left, what do? They sell it to Wall Street. They sell it to investors. They turn them into MBS, which stands for mortgage-backed securities, and they basically are selling that money back to us. That money goes into our IRAs, our 401ks. How many people know what their IRAs or their 401ks are investing in? How many people do you think know every detail of where their money's invested?
Not very many.
Not very many. Maybe their financial planner does, but they're actually investing in mortgage-backed securities. So in essence, their investments or their retirements, things that they're funneling money into, and the money's from those mortgages all bundled from Fannie and Freddie, that money is now going back to the borrower. And what do IRAs and 401ks do? They gain money, they make money, they lose money.
Correct.
But this is the cycle where money continually flows. If nobody ever sold a loan or the servicing rights to a loan, like this whole capitalistic economy wouldn't work the way that it works. Money goes around, and ultimately comes back to you. So this is really how it works, and this is why lenders can't just lend out $500,000, 300,000, 400, through hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of loans without selling the loans. At some point, they have to replenish. They have to have extra monies to loan out. So this is the circle where your loan eventually is going to get bundled and sold to a servicer. Ultimately, it ends up with Fannie and Freddie. Ultimately, it gets aggregated together, ends up in Wall Street, and ends up in your retirement accounts.
Wow. I did not know. I did not know any of that.
Yep, this is really the cleanest, best image to really see how the money works. So I look at the loans being sold as a blessing. A lot of people don't like change. They just, most people set their automatic mortgage payment and forget it. It goes out on an EFT every month. Who cares who it's going to? Some people do care.
Well, I don't think it's that they don't like change. I think change is a little bit nerve wracking because did it change? Did my mortgage payment change? Are they going to change it in the future? So I think that
Right.
I think that's a real thing. And
They fear the wrong. They fear the wrong change, though, because some people are creatures of habit. They don't like to have to go through setting up their payment to somewhere else. But I think you're right. The underlying fear is my mortgage going to change?
Right. I mean, people that like you and I, well, you mostly, and me just because I'm older, but we know that mortgages get bought. But people that are first time home buyers, people that maybe have only owned their home for 10 years, they don't know these things, these intricacies and why it happens. I mean, here I am 53 and I didn't know any of this as to why it happened. But it makes sense as to the need for it to funnel back into being able to allow more borrowers to be to get mortgages. So, any final
Right.
thoughts,
Right.
Mike?
No, just again that it might be a little inconvenient that you have to set up your payment to go somewhere else. It really is just, most people are on EFT. Most people are on automatic payment. It just goes out every month. They don't have to worry about it. So you're just setting up an EFT to go to a different source. Takes a couple of minutes. Some people are still mailing in checks. I still have clients at closing that say, "Where's my payment booklet?" It's like, I don't know if any lenders still give payment booklets. Typically, you're getting a statement in the mail or you're getting a paperless statement emailed to you. But some people still mail in their check. So now you just have to write that check out to a different name and mail it to a different address.
And if
It's
you
not that
have questions, I mean, you can always probably call your your mortgage person that you closed with, or two, you can contact the company
right.
to verify that nothing has changed with your mortgage. So,
That's a great point. It's a good idea. Anytime you get anything in the mail, you should contact your loan officer and ask them
yeah.
first if it's legit. I have had multiple clients, because everybody's information is sold every day, and letters go out in deceiving letters that make it look like they're from your lender. And it says something about, there's something changing with your mortgage, you need to call us, or ultimately it's a scam. And I've had multiple clients send these letters, and I look at it and I immediately know that it's a scam. I know, they'll get letters saying, "Hey, you need to purchase this home warranty," and they think it's from their lender, so they think that's legit. And I tell them, like, lenders are not in the business of selling home warranties. They're not going to mail and solicit a home warranty to you.
No, home warranties are sold by a completely different company, and usually a home warranty is something that the real estate agent will offer you when you are buying or selling a home. So, yeah.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
So contact your loan officer if you have any questions, even when the servicing changes, and we will help you every step of the way and get that set up and make sure your payments are going to the right place. But it's a small inconvenience, but it doesn't change your loan, and it actually helps other people buy homes with the circle of life with money going around the way that it does.
And stay tuned for our next video where we're talking about mortgage-backed securities and how it affected the 2% interest rates that we saw back in 2021. So be on the lookout for that video. So if you need any assistance between Mike and I, here's our information. And Mike, anything else?
No, tune into the next video though, because we're going to let you know why the rates got down to 1% and 2%. And I like to say that they were theoretical or fictitious and bound to probably not come back for who knows when. But we're going to explain why that happened, how the government got involved, and why you really are looking for normal rates are not 1%, 2%, and 3%. They're just not. And there's a reason for it. We'll get into that in the next video.
Thank you. Have a good one.